Welcome back to the channel. Tons of new information as we head into season 2.5 of Marvel Rivals, and I'm not going to waste any time, so let's get right into it. Probably the most exciting bit being that Ultron is officially coming, and we've gotten more footage of his abilities and team up. The new footage shows off Ultron with his primary attack being this laser burst with 6 charges, and the range that actually looks kind of crazy with a long-range tick damage beam that ends with burst damage. He's a flying hero who has a shift ability that lets him burst in a certain direction, which lets him escape divers. His E lets him throw drones on allies, which shields them and the allies around them in a certain area. And then his right click is going to provide shields to the teammates with drones on them or the ones that are near Ultron. His ultimate then looks insane. He summons these bots around him that shoots out bursts of these missiles that both damage enemies and heal allies, which I think is super sick. There's finally a strategist that is doing more than just healing with their ult. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. We also have some footage of the new map Araco, which is Ultron infected and looks great. I'm always a fan of having new maps in the rotation, so I can't wait to see more of this. There's also some gameplay of the Ultron Iron Man team up, where Ultron is going to get to use Iron Man's Unibeam laser, which not only damages enemies and heals allies, but also pierces through them. Now, speaking of team ups, we also have big changes coming to those. Getting straight up removed are Symbiote Bond, Ammo Overload, Chilling Charisma, and Allied Agents. Getting nerfed is going to be the Fantastic Four team up, Emma Frost with Magneto and Psylocke, and the Namor Hulk one. Then they're also adding new team ups, with my favorite probably being the Jeff Tornado. Yes, Storm and Jeff are having a team up to create a hurricane that devours your enemies, which looks insane. Ultron and Iron Man have a team up called Stark Protocol. Like we just mentioned, Venom and Jeff the Landshark also have a team up called Symbiote Shenanigans, where Jeff can use Venom's tendrils to link allies and heal them. Penny Parker and Rocket Raccoon now have one called Rocket Network, where Penny can now spawn a second enhanced spider nest that can coexist with her other one, and Rocket can spawn a respawn beacon that also spawns spider mines, though it cannot coexist with another one of his beacons. Luna Snow and Hawkeye are getting one called Chilling Assault, where Hawkeye unleashes an ice arrow that penetrates through cover and deals more damage and stuns the further away they are. Punisher and Black Widow get one called Operation Microchip. Black Widow is going to be able to use a piercing pulse shot while ADSing. There's also going to be a lot of buffs and nerfs for season 2.5. Starting off with Vanguard's Captain America's base health is going to go from 600 to 575. They're increasing the delay of the shield recovery from 2 to 4 seconds after unleashing Living Legend, and they're increasing the energy cost of Freedom Charge from 2800 to 3100. For Doctor Strange, they're adjusting the damage fall off for daggers at the knock, and they're removing the range damage fall off of Maelstrom of Madness. For Emma Frost, they're increasing the range of Telepathic Pulse, but decreasing the shield value of Mind's Aegis. They're increasing the cooldown of Carbon Crush and decreasing the hit damage of Crystal Kick, while also decreasing the extra damage dealt when hitting them into a wall. So that burst combo is going to do a little bit less damage. For Groot, they're decreasing the damage of his Vine Strike per hit and increasing the cooldown of Ironwood Wall. Magneto is getting an increase to the charging speed of his rings. And lastly, for the Vanguards, we have Thor, who is getting an adjustment to his Hammer Throw ability, which is now just a standard ability. So there's now no Thor Force cost and no universal cooldown. Now it's just an ability cooldown to 6 seconds, and he'll gain 1 Thor Force for each hammer thrown that hits an enemy. They're decreasing the throw hit damage from 70 to 45, and the return damage decreased from 30 to 20. They're also decreasing the shield value gained when he consumes Thor Force, as well as the max bonus health he can get. Going straight into Duelist, Hawkeye is getting an increase to his base damage of his arrows. They're reducing the projectile damage of Blast Arrow, but increasing the spell field damage. They'll also get an increase to the maximum focus and the charging speed when aiming at an enemy. Hela's getting an increase to the charge capacity of her Night Sword Thorn. Human Torch is getting nerfed with a reduction to the damage of Fire Cluster, an increase to the charge speed of Blazing Blast, but decreasing the shield value gained from Flaming Meteor, as well as increasing its cooldown. For Iron Fist, overall he is getting nerfed. They're lowering his Dragon's Defense damage block conversion rate, as well as decreasing the maximum bonus health he can get. They're also decreasing the distance his dash goes when he doesn't have a target, and reducing how much cooldown reduction he can get on Dragon's Defense. For Iron Man, they're decreasing the projectile range of the 3rd Repulsor Blast and decreasing the spell field damage. He's also getting a reduction to his Armor Overdrive bonus health. For Namor, they're increasing the cooldown of Blessings of the Deep, but expanding the inner circle of his ultimate ability and the outer circle as well. They're also adjusting the Monstro spawn damage fall off. For Psylocke, they're decreasing the retrieval damage of Wing Shuriken shurikens, and also decreasing the invisibility duration of her stealth. Squirrel Girl is getting an increase to the capacity of Burst Acorn, decreasing the cooldown of Mammal Bond, as well as optimizing the user experience for Squirrel Blockade, Tail Bounce, and Unbeatable Squirrel Tsunami. Star-Lord is getting an increase to the energy cost of his ultimate, but they are extending the maximum target range and giving him less of a damage fall off. For Storm, they're increasing the damage of her Hurricane, and last for the Duelist, Punisher is getting a reduction to the movement slow rate of Final Judgment and increasing his mag size from 30 to 40, as well as the single hit damage and slightly reducing his spread. Jeff the Shark is getting a rework here with his abilities, while there is a new ability to Joyful Splash that is his basic heal attack, and now also deals damage to enemies and can heal allies through other allies but not through enemies. His alternative fire Aqua Burst is now a charge ability with 3 charges, with a new effect that now when he hits direct hits on enemies, it launches them up. His healing bubble is now also only having maximum of 3 bubbles instead of that 6 from before, and it is no longer a one-time healing instant heal, it is healing over time. So they'll heal more over time, just not as quickly. Also, his movement ability that is Hide and Seek now has an energy cap that drains by 20 per second while submerged and restores 15 a second when not. So his healing while submerged is reduced. Then his ultimate now allows for overflow healing on allies, giving them 45 health per second as bonus health. He's also getting even more of damage reduction when he takes damage from critical hits, now making it 70% instead of 50%. Luna Snow is also getting changed a bit as she's getting an increase to her light and dark ice healing amounts, or her basic healing, as well as a new effect to Absolute Zero where she gets 50 bonus health per enemy hit. However, her ultimate ability is now costing more, from 4,500 to 5,000. And finally, Rocket Raccoon with just a slight nerf, I would say. He's getting a reduction to his repair mode direct hit healing amount from 55 to 50. Now, outside of all those buffs and nerfs, we also have some rare skins that are supposedly returning. According to XOX League, Captain America's Galactic, Talon, and Hawkeye's Galactic Fang skins will be returning for a limited time rerun for 2 weeks, though we don't know the exact date. These were the very first store rotation all the way in Season 0 that we have not seen come back yet, so I know a lot of people are going to be split on this. Some are very excited, and others are just wanting it to remain rare. I think maybe that's fair for those exclusive alpha and beta skins, but something like a shop rotation, I think they should just come back in. The Hawkeye one's this awesome purple one. If you haven't seen it, looks super high tech. I think his helmet looks sick, and Captain America skin is the one that you will always confuse with Thor when you're playing against it. Speaking of skins, there's also a list of upcoming unknown skins from the game files, where Storm and Wolverine are both supposed to be getting comic inspired skins. Magneto and Iron Fist are getting Rivals original skins, which are probably those Ultron infected ones that we saw before. Jeff is going to be getting his original beach skin at some point. Scarlet Witch apparently has 2 more in the game files, and Groot is meant to be getting a possible legendary skin, which would be awesome to get an Ultron infected Groot. I think that would look super cool. We also found out that Marvel Rivals is getting a new TFT type game mode in Season 2.5. It's called Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol, which, yes, is a mouthful, and you choose your hero lineups and play against 6 other players. You'll be selecting cards for purchase to make your own unique builds that enhance things like attack speed, health, and your defensive abilities. Looks like cards are sorted by different colors, either by applying to roles like Duelist, Strategist, or Vanguard, or they can be cards that apply to unique roles that you have on the field. You also then arrange your team how you want on the board and play as an Ultron drone for more of a strategy-based game. They even showed that the heroes will gain unique abilities as the game goes on. Like Venom is going to grow larger and larger as he devours enemies in this mode, and Hela is going to start splitting up her projectiles with an insane fire rate. Psylocke's ultimate gets even more strikes, and Namor can control a ton of his monstros in this mode. Also, we have strategists whose ults are not only just going to heal here, but they will also deal damage to the enemies. Overall, if you like auto battlers or TFT from League, this mode looks awesome. I think it's sick, and we'll definitely be giving it a try, but I know it's also not for everyone. Then as far as miscellaneous updates coming, we have Lord icons, which are going to be on your hero select wheel, which is a nice little improvement, nothing huge. I'm still hoping for them to show up at the bottom of your screen when you're playing, and to get some more proficiency rewards kind of past that Lord point. And finally, we also are getting these mood icons and emojis that are coming, which is going to allow you to further personalize your nameplate and then also use them in game like emotes. I guess these are fine. Kind of just seems like another thing. The emotes I'm sure will be fun to use. I'm sure we'll get some funny moments out of that, but I'm not so sure about these mood icons that go in your nameplate. Ultimately, a ton of content coming in Season 2.5, and I'm sure we're just going to get more and more. So stay tuned and I will update you. Until next time, I'll catch you later.